What's up, guys? Welcome back to the recap show for UFC 295 that went down this past weekend. Keep in mind, this is a Burr Moment recap show. A Burr Moment's a super hard time in the fight or outside of the fight that a fighter had to deal with that got them the victory at the end of the day. And me and Phenix will be choosing our Burr Moments that we saw from this past weekend.
Can I just go on record and say this? That might be one of the best pay-per-view cards of all time. Not just because of the matchup, not just because how the main and the co-main ended, but every single fight on the main card ended with a KO.
Literally.
When else have you seen Dana White give every single winner on the main card a performance of the night bonus? What a freaking card it was. Me and Priest were there live in person, our very first time at MSG, the Mecca.
It's beautiful.
And man,
It's beautiful.
did it hold up its expectation? I think that's top 5 best moments of my life.
Yeah.
And not to mention Diego Lopes got an amazing win. But that's for another time. Like Priest said, this is a recap show. So me and Priest each will be picking one Burr moment that we saw out of any fight of the night. Could be the early prelims, the main card, main event, any fight that we saw a fighter overcome a Burr moment, whether it's in the fight or outside of the fight. So Priest, kick things off with your very first Burr moment.
My Burr moment is going to Tom Aspinall. How could you not give a Burr moment to this guy? Flashback to July of 23rd, 2022, his fight against Curtis Blades. Boom. Throws the leg kick. Full blowout in the knee. Never thought the guy would ever be the same. It took him a year to fight again. Think about that. Imagine being number 6 in the world, undefeated in the UFC, and you have maybe one fight, and then you get the title shot. Boom, that happens. Then you start to question yourself, well, am I ever going to be the same? Am I going to have the power and that right knee or left knee to have the same power and move the same? Because this dude moves like a welterweight, let's be honest. He is so quick on the feet. And coming off a huge win just before that against Alexander Volkov, how could you not give this Burr moment to this guy? Then, boom, July hits of 2023. Knockout win in his debut back there in his home crowd at the O2 Arena. Fast forward a couple months. Literally 2-3 weeks ago, gets a call from Dana White. Hey, interim fight against Sergey Pavlovich, you in? How could I say no? Boom, 3-week camp. Goes out there, knocks out Sergey Pavlovich, basically new heavyweight champion.
Not even that. He came out and said after the show that he trained so hard, so quickly for this camp because he did get the call on 2 weeks' notice that he even strained a muscle in his back. So he could not train. Literally did not even really train for this fight. And then to go out and knock out Sergey Pavlovich, who I went on record and said is probably the top 3 boxers in the entire UFC. Unbelievable. Shout out to Tom Aspinall, man, because he really defines what a Burr moment is. His whole life has been a Burr moment of just going down in the deepest of waters and being able to come back up. And now he's the freaking interim heavyweight champion, in which I think a fight with John Jones would be absolutely incredible. I think I would rather see Tom Aspinall fight John Jones later this year or later next year than Stipe.
Yeah. Well, I want to quote this real fast because whenever that fight happens, Tom Aspinall will beat John Jones in 2 rounds.
I don't know. No, I don't know, man.
Clip that.
I don't know. Tom Aspinall, yes, he moves very well. He has great hands. He has great wrestling. But you're talking about John Jones, the GOAT. It's not even the attributes of John Jones that makes him so good. It's the mental going into a fight like, dang, I'm fighting the greatest fighter of all time. It makes you start to question yourself and how my attributes go up against John Jones. So you got to think there's a whole other mental lapse that you have. And you saw it was Cyril Gahn. He looked like he never fought before in that fight because you're fighting John Jones. So that's hard to say right there.
No.
That's hard to say. But all right, good pick. Tom Aspinall. I knew that was coming. I'm very happy for him. And subclip, that dude is freaking massive when we saw him in the hotel. Massive.
He's a giant.
But all right, moving into my Burr moment from UFC 295. I think most people know where I'm going with this. Diego Lopes is the man. Holy crap.
He's him.
He's him. He's going to fight for a title one day. Mark my words, he will. Because not only is he probably have the best Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, not even the 145-pound division, but almost in the entire UFC, has been training since he was 5 years old. And now he's a boxer. He's a boxer and he has hands. But my burn moment for Diego Lopes is going to the 3-minute and 45-second mark. You see, with Pat Sabatini, not a lot of people know this, but he has very good defense when he's on his feet. Very good defense. He keeps a very good high guard. But there's one thing that Diego Lopes saw, and Damian Jackson also saw this 2 fights ago, is that everything that comes up the middle with Pat Sabatini, he has a tough time seeing. Back to Damian Jackson 2 fights ago, he front kicked Pat Sabatini to the face, ended up knocking him out. So I think the burn moment was at that moment when Diego Lopes remembered that the uppercut was going to be there. Anything up the middle was going to be there. So right at that moment, they clinch. Diego Lopes fires a knee to the body, comes upstairs with an uppercut, and then finishes it over the top. And Pat Sabatini drops. He drops for a level change. But I think most people don't see that he was super hurt in that moment. And then Diego Lopes easily hip tops him. And then Pat Sabatini, still trying to get his wits about him, stands up to his feet. And again, a beautiful combination with another uppercut and then another overhand right. That's 2 of the same combos within 10 seconds. Pat Sabatini is hurt, almost out on his feet. He ends up finishing the fight. But Diego Lopes, man, he is a star. And he will fight for a world title one day. Yeah. Mark my words.
No, he will become champion. There is no doubt in my mind. He is arguably the best 145-pound fighter in the world right now.
I think he might already be ready.
No, he's
But I think
ready.
if he does the Sean O'Malley effect, there is no question in my mind that he will not become a champion. So that's my burn moment. Let us know in the comments if you saw any other burn moments. And if you think John Jones will lose to Tom Aspinall if that fight happens. But like always, like, comment, and subscribe at the Burn Factory Podcast. And we'll see you guys for the next video. Peace.